Hey guys, Ravi here and welcome to my vlog of MA-020. In today's vlog, I am going to be performing my very first upgrade for my MA-020 chassis, and that upgrade is actually swapping out the wheel nuts from the stock plastic nuts to these these nuts. So I want to talk a little bit about the ways you can do such an upgrade, or most upgrades for that matter. Now if you take the stock nut under the stock wrench, what Kyosho actually offers for you is that you can either go about buying their own upgrades, or you can buy aftermarket OEM parts or aftermarket parts that will conform to the same specification as the Mini-Z. Or you can go with the standardized specification for the RC car. Now the way that you remove this, for this upgrade I'm just going to be demonstrating on one single wheel, and in this case what I will be doing is that I'll show you. Okay, I'll remove the rear wheel because I've removed it before. I'll show you what the approach that you can actually take to do this upgrade. Now the specification of Mini-Z is that these wheel nuts have a 2 millimeter as the diameter of the nut, the inner diameter, and it is threaded. So this nut is called M2 nut, and what you can do is that you can either focus. Okay, you can either go with the standard Kyosho upgrade, which will actually give you an aluminum nut, which will have a flange width of which is similar to these plastic nuts. Okay, I'm not able to take it off. Right. But if you plan to, now the nut is so small that I'm not even able to hold it properly. Yeah, this is the plastic nut that is stock for you in your chassis. The specification is that it's 2 millimeters, right? Specification. But the inner diameters needs to remain the same, which is 2 millimeters. So in case this is the nut that I'm going to change to, right? So if I'm going to put these two side by side, you can see that the outer diameter is actually different. It's not focusing. It's completely different, right? So I will not be able to use the stock wrench. In this case, if I put it in here, it is actually going to be closed. You can see a gap around that nut. So for that, I do not think that there will be such a disparity between the standardized nuts and bolts compared to what Kyosho offers. So I had to actually buy another tool for it, which will actually suit this nut, and that was a really long wait for it to arrive. Now this is called a nut wrench. I'm sorry, no, this is called a nut driver, in which this nut will be able to fit properly. Now, as you can see, there is hardly any gap, and I can comfortably tighten the nut to my wheel. So using this, I'm just going to keep the nylon side outside. So put it this way, and hopefully it screws on properly. Okay, so it's screwed on. Not sure why it's not tightening. And there's a significant gap between the nut and the wheel right now. Okay, it's tightening right now. Wow. Okay, I did not expect the nylon to be so resistive, because right now the nylon inside this nut is actually offering so much resistance that it doesn't feel smooth to tighten it. It feels as if that's too much tightness. It feels as if I'm actually fighting against it. Okay, this is the maximum tightness. And with maximum tightness, the wheel is not rotating freely. So I need to loosen it a bit. Yeah, now the wheel is rotating freely. As you can see, maybe you can notice a difference. Okay. So this is like the most basic upgrade that you can do on your chassis. Now what I've done is that let me show you, I've got a 50 pack M2 nut. Now instead of getting 4-piece or 5-piece nuts which will actually include a converter or a wrench along with it, I went with this because the specification is that the inner diameter needs to be 2 millimeters. You can also get the same version of nut with without the inner nylon within the nut. So I went with the nylon version so that it actually has that nylon will actually grab onto the spindle on which you are fastening the nut. And what you need to check is that after you tighten it, there should not be any such play, right? You can see there's a slight play in the wheel. Slightly rotate it and press both sides. You'll be able to see that there is some play. You want to make sure that this play is at its minimum by adjusting the tightness of the nut. If you over tighten it, it's actually going to start rubbing against the plastic housing in the wheel. You don't want that. At the same time, you do not want a lot of play, because see, I'm just applying very slight pressure, and you can see a lot of play here. So you have to slightly adjust it, just slightly, maybe like, okay, it's still having some play. So that you need to find that sweet spot where the nut is actually fastening the wheel against the I think the spindle at the same time, so that whenever you are going about using your car, let's say this wheel, okay, yeah, there's play here also, and this is actually factory tightened, so there is some play here, and there is some play here too. So just make sure it is fastened, and I'll shoot a footage of the movement and drifts, because I really cannot call my drift as drift, just a rookie drift, right? So I'll just try to run this chassis a little bit once I swap out all the remaining nuts, and I'll be back.